Hello, welcome to another wonderful session with the Wax channel, the arena of possibilities where we give you the best and finest education through engineering, modern technology, and entertainment. In our earlier tutorial, we learned more on introduction to Solidworks interface, and then we started learning on how to choose the best planes for your drawings and models in Solidworks. We only learned in that video how to use the front plane. In this one, as we continue to look at introduction to Solidworks, we are also coming to learn about how to use the top and the right planes and when and where to select them when doing your drawings and models. Please, in order not to lose or skip any of our tutorials and wonderful videos, do subscribe, like and share to friends to also benefit. Let us begin. Introduction to Solidworks Part 2. Welcome back to our next tutorial. In our earlier video, we looked at how to model something like this on the front plane, and that is why we have it this way. Let us now look at how to model something like this with the same dimensions, but this time on the top plane. Let's see how it will go. Okay, so I just go to new or Control N, click on it. Since I'm coming to deal in parts, I double click on parts and it opens for me. So this is a fresh work page. If you can recall from our previous video, we said in order to start a sketch, you have to first of all look at the units you'll be using for your sketch. At the moment, I'm using millimeters. You can actually click the down here, that is the bottom right, and then change the unit if you wish. But I'm using mmgs, that's a millimeter, gram, and second. The other units are also there. Okay, now after selecting your unit, which is the first thing you have to do, you now have to click on sketch. Then you go to the sketch at the top left corner in order to choose a plane on which you do your model. So I click on sketch and then the planes appear. In the first video, we looked at how to model that part on the front plane. This time around, let's look at how to model this same part on the top plane. So I click on top plane and the plane faces me, just like how we have on the front plane earlier. So we have the X and Y axis showing the origin of the sketch. So I click on line again, or I activate the line command by either clicking on this icon or pressing L on your keyboard. So I click on this and then the line command is activated. Remember to check for your relations when you are drawing vertical and horizontal lines. So I click on the origin, I move upward and it is vertical because the yellow and black relation is showing vertical. Now I end it here, I move horizontal line, come back again, then back to origin because that's what Solidworks requires from us. Okay, so I have this. Remember we said smart dimension is the general dimension tool you can use to choose where to dimension, whether lines, angles, curves, anything. So you choose smart dimension. In an earlier sketch, we said we have to make here a 1 meter, which is 1000 millimeters. So I click on 1000, I press enter. You click on the next line, which is the side of this. Just click once and move it out, click again. Then you can edit the value. Where we use 500 millimeters, that's a 0.5 of a meter. Alright, now that we have this, remember we are drawing or modeling this on the top plane. So let us now extrude and see how this will behave. Alright, so we go to features and extruded boss or base. We click on it and you see the reaction. So it is actually going to extrude, but this time around not along the front plane but on the top plane. Now we extruded to a depth of 800 millimeters over here. So I'll just type 800 and I press enter, and you see the reaction. Just like in the previous video, you can use this to change the direction of extrusion, either up or down. In the earlier video where we were using the front plane, it did not really extrude it up or down, but it was extruding it front or back on the front plane axis. So I click on this or this, depending on me, and I accept it, and this is my model. So this is the same model of this, which has been drawn on the front plane. So this is drawn on front plane and extruded as such. This is drawn on the top plane and extruded as such. Alright, let us model this same thing on the right plane. So I go to new or Control N on my keyboard, double click on parts, and then I have parts. Now I have to change my unit, or I have to select the unit in which I'll be working. I still prefer the mmgs to use millimeters for my sketch. So I now go to sketch on this sketch tab, and then sketch again. Now we are choosing the right plane. By now we should all be mastering how to use the front and the top planes, right? Because at the end of this tutorial we'll have a very wonderful exercise which will help us all try to understand what we are doing. So I click on the right plane, and now it faces me. As usual, I make my model. I click line, remember straight, vertical line, straight, horizontal line, bring it back, and I close my drawing. Smart dimension, the same dimensions. Click here, click again, and type 1000 millimeters. Okay, click here, click again, and that is 500 millimeters. Okay, I'm extruding this, but remember this is going to be extruded along the right plane. So I go to features and I go to extrude, then I have this. How wonderful Solidworks can and interesting it can be. Okay, the depth of extrusion, as usual, we said 800 millimeters. I have this. So I can equally use the reverse direction command to change direction, as you see it here. And this is what we have. You now realize that in all three models, okay, let me accept my drawing first. Accept. You now realize that in all three models is the same thing we've drawn. However, after taking it into 3D or extruding it, it has been extruded along the particular plane we've chosen for the work. It is therefore necessary that you understand how these planes work before you choose any of them in any of your drawings. If I have to model a table, knowing very well that the table is to have parts on which other things will be sitting, I have to draw the first part, that's the top part of my table, using the top plane. Will you give it a try? I'll be expecting that. If you have any challenge, you can put it on the comment section or to be addressed. If you have not yet subscribed, please remember, subscribe, like, and share so we can give you more updated videos. Watch out for the other videos where you'll be enjoying more of Solidworks practices, exercises, and models.